Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Maddie. I am a reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about brands that I've sold that have either really close to 100% sell-through rate or 100% sell-through rate, meaning that I've picked this brand up multiple times and every single time it's sold, or if I do have anything listed, it's because it hasn't been listed for that long. So I went through my closet and I found 10 brands. I'm mostly going to be popping up Poshmark videos and pictures, but I do also sell these brands on eBay, and Mercari is such a wild card, so I probably have sold these brands on Mercari, but my Mercari sales are few and far between. I did try and choose some brands that are a little bit more bread and butter brands because I'm definitely a bread and butter reseller. I get things for extremely inexpensive and then I just try and flip them as fast as I can. And also, it's like, would you really need a video where I'm like, Gucci has a 100% sell-through rate? Johnny Was has a 100% sell-through rate. Like, what are the chances that you're constantly stumbling across those type of like luxurious brands? Maybe you are. Maybe you're fortunate. I am not so fortunate. I do not find Gucci and Johnny Was every time I go to the thrift store. So I try to choose brands that I think are going to be accessible to everyone. So let's get started with our first brand. So up first, it's an Anthropologie sub-brand. If you guys didn't catch my previous video where I went over my top 5 best-selling brands, Anthropologie was my best-selling brand, but this is a sub-brand within the Anthropologie family. There's like 4 billion of them, but this is one that every single time I find it, I know it's going to sell, and I know it's going to sell pretty quickly. And that brand is Pilgrim, formerly known as Pilgrim and the letterpress. So now it is just Pilgrim. It used to be Pilgrim and the letterpress. I guess they dropped the letterpress. They got in a fight with the letterpress. Who knows what happened with the letterpress. But Pilgrim. So in particular, when I'm looking at Pilgrim, I found that the plaid shirts sell really quickly and they get a lot of attention. I found quite a few of these recently. They're kind of like a boxier cut. And then something else that does really well in particular in the Pilgrim brand is going to be embroidered jeans. So you probably are going to find mostly denim. I don't pick up all of Pilgrim denim, but anytime it has embroidery on it, I'm like, yep, I'm getting that because someone likes it. A lot of the times the embroidery is going to be like floral embroidery, and it's a really quick seller for me. And then like my number one thing to find from Pilgrim, and I don't find it nearly enough, is going to be Pilgrim overalls. I love selling overalls for most brands, but Pilgrim overalls in particular do really well for me. The next brand that I want to talk about is an athletic brand. This is actually a brand that my mom introduced me to. She is a tennis fanatic, and this brand is called Lucky in Love. Anytime I find it, even if it's like damaged or stained or the stitching's not the best, it flies out of my closet. Like, my mom actually gave me a Lucky in Love pullover to resell the other day, and it had like staining all over it, and I was kind of like, Mom, what'd you do to this? Like, no judgment, I appreciate it, but like, what did you do to this? But I didn't ask her that. I just posted it. I disclosed the staining, and it still had like 5 likes and sold within a week. It was crazy. So any Lucky in Love piece sells really well for me, but in particular the skirts do really well. The cuter the print, the better. And then if you can find a matching set, like a shell and a skirt, obviously that's gonna sell really quickly because that person is trying to look cute out on the tennis field or while golfing. And it's just a brand that I didn't honestly know about because the tag is very unassuming. Like, it's just printed on and it says Lucky in Love, but it's become one of my favorite athletic wear brands to find. I, again, don't find it nearly enough, but every so often I will see it in my thrift store or at a local consignment store, and I just get so excited. I would not pay up for it, but if you can find it for like $4 or less, it's going to flip for like $20 to $25 pretty quickly. The next brand that I want to talk about is called McLaughlin. So McLaughlin is kind of for a more like career woman, middle-aged type of woman. It's a lot of structural pieces, it's a lot of basics, and it does particularly well on eBay, but I do also sell it on Poshmark quite often as well. So a lot of their times their pieces are made with really good fabrics, and then also they're just kind of more of a plain basic. So you're not going to get a lot of fun prints. Occasionally you'll find one, but a lot of times it'll be a solid color. Or I found like a denim shift dress the other day. So it's just good materials, and I think it's things that people want to invest in because they know that they are going to last them for a while. Kind of think like J. Crew-esque. It's definitely like that, but just with nicer, thicker materials. And anytime I've found J. McLaughlin, it gets a lot of attention. It doesn't even matter the size. Some of the pieces do really well. I will say I mostly sell these shirts. Kind of in a similar vein, our next brand is called James Purse. You may also see Standard James Purse, and they're known for their basics as well. James Purse does vanity sizing, so instead of putting small, they'll put 1, mediums, 2, and so on. So James Purse is known in particular for this one type of shirt. It's got like 2 pockets, it buttons down, and then it's got like ribbing on the sides. So it is a very basic shirt. They make it in a bunch of colors, but anytime I find this shirt in particular, it's just flies. People want it. And they'll pay anywhere from $25 to $35. Normally if you find like a black or a white shirt, it does sell a little bit faster because people are looking for their basics. They also do make sweaters that I found before and dresses. Again, their dresses are going to be kind of like more of a basic jersey knit type, and then their sweaters are normally like a high quality content, and the sweaters will get you a little bit more money. Moving on to a denim brand. This denim brand is a really interesting brand, and you'll be able to recognize the label if you ever do see it out in the wild because it's very distinctive. It's like a very thick square, and then it's got like all of the sizes of the jeans, so like 24, 25, 26, etc. And then whatever size the jeans are, they put like a heart. So if it's 27, they're going to put a heart around the 27. And this brand is called Revisa Denim. So I've found a lot of Revisa denim. A lot of the times you'll probably see it in like a Plato's Closet or an Uptown Cheapskate because it is kind of newer and trendier, but I've found it at the thrift store a few times as well. They're plain jeans, like they're just regular blue jeans, they're regular black jeans. They'll sell, but what you're really going to want to be on the lookout for is they're very like unique jeans. They have this one pair of jeans that I've sold like 2 or 3 times, and it's called the yin yang jean. And basically what it is one leg of the jeans is a light wash, and then the other leg of the jeans is a dark wash, hence the yin and yang. And the model photos are very like Fashion Nova-esque without the super Photoshop, where it's like they're very like sultry and in your face kind of. So I use those because it seems to get them sold. So anytime you find Revisa denim, I would definitely pick it up, and I would potentially even pay up for the more unique jeans. They have another pair where on the butt pockets there's stars. Those sell really well. So the more unique ones maybe pay up for, and then the more plain ones I probably again would stick to that like $3 to $4 range. Next up, I have a shoe brand, and this is a shoe brand that I have sold so many times that I also personally really love, and that brand is Jeffrey Campbell. So Jeffrey Campbell has been around forever, and it's sold at a lot of different department stores like Macy's, Nordstrom, etc. So you are probably going to find it pretty easily. I pick up pretty much all Jeffrey Campbell so long as it is not overpriced at the thrift store, but I will say with Jeffrey Campbell, the weirder the better. If you look at the shoe and you're like, who the hell is gonna wear that? That's gonna sell really well. I don't get it personally, but there's a fan base for it. Some of my best-selling Jeffrey Campbell finds have been these gladiator lace-ups sandals. They go like all the way up to your knee. Those have done really well. I've also done really well with any of his boots. And sometimes the interesting thing about Jeffrey Campbell is that they don't even use the best materials on the shoes. Like they'll use faux leather instead of real leather or man-made materials, and it'll still sell pretty well. So if it is a more plain style, I definitely won't pay up for it, but those unique styles, definitely I would consider paying up for it. And the cool thing about Jeffrey Campbell is those unique styles are so distinctive that you can probably whip out your phone, use a quick Google Lens search, and find it right away and look up comps to see if it's worth paying up for. Next up, we have another shoe brand, and this one's kind of an obvious one. I don't understand this trend at all, but something that always sells for me is Crocs. I guess it's because they're comfortable. I don't get it. I don't own a pair of Crocs. Maybe I need to get a pair of Crocs and see if they change my life. So anytime I find Crocs, they sell so quickly for me. I do have a few listed right now, and just because I just got them, but it really doesn't even matter the style, like they sell. And I can tell you everyone's wearing Crocs right now, as I'm sure you guys know. As a former teacher, my older students especially were all about the Crocs. They would get in trouble every day with the PE teacher because they'd be wearing Crocs to PE, and he's like, you cannot run in those. And it's just a phenomenon right now. So something that is going to sell for a little bit more, because Crocs are definitely going to be in that bread and butter range, are going to be like any collaborations. Like I know there were some Post Malone Crocs for a while that were going for a lot of money, and then also there's like a platform style that can go for a lot of money as well. Our 8th brand is going to be Hardtail Yoga. So I've been selling Hardtail Yoga for quite some time, and it's very distinctive because most of their pieces are going to be tie-dye pieces. So they do tie-dyes in a lot of different colors, but I will say blue tie-dye seems to be like their comfort zone, which makes sense. Yoga is very calming. Blue can be very calming. So anytime I find a hardtail yoga piece and it's tie-dye, I know that it's going to be better. In fact, when I was researching for this video, I saw that I did have a hardtail piece currently available, and I was like, huh, it's interesting. And then I went to it and I saw that it is a pair of just plain pink leggings, no tie-dye, just solid pink. And I was like, well, that's why it's not selling, is because there's no tie-dye there. So Hardtail Yoga is definitely a pickup for me. Our 9th brand is something that you'll probably come across a lot, and that brand is Calvin Klein. So I actually received a lot of Calvin Klein in my ThredUp mixed clothing box, and I wasn't necessarily like thrilled about that, because although I will occasionally pick up Calvin Klein at my thrift store, I normally just pick up like the more structural work dresses. And in the ThredUp box, I got a lot of like roll tab sleeve blouses, and I was kind of like, eh. But they sold so incredibly quickly. They only sold for like $12 to $18, so definitely not a lot. But if you're at the bins, the materials on them is like viscose or polyester, so they're very lightweight, so it could definitely be something to look into. One of the pieces that I got in the box didn't even have the size tag, and it still sold incredibly quickly on eBay. So definitely give Calvin Klein a shot. I know a lot of the pieces are pretty boring and maybe not that fun to list, but they sell really quickly. And in particular, I do like selling the more structural workwear dresses. A lot of them have like this very flattering ruching on the side that I know do really well. Of course, plus size Calvin Klein is going to do well. Our 10th brand is actually a kids brand, and that brand is Hannah Anderson. So Hannah Anderson is a really interesting brand because they do make clothes for women, they make clothes for little girls, and they make clothes for boys. I kind of pass on a lot of the women's clothing unless I can find like the Mommy and Me collaborations. Those are going to do really well. But in particular, I do like to pick up the girls like knit dresses or any sort of like fun pattern. Some of the patterns in particular are like rare patterns or retired patterns, so you might want to Google Lens that really quickly and see if it's worth it. But I will always pick up Hannah Anderson for like $2 or less, because those girls' dresses, they sell so quickly, especially on eBay. The people of eBay, they love Hannah Anderson. I've not had as much success with boys clothing, but girls dresses, it's a no-brainer for me. I pick them up. I do not pay up for them, but I definitely will pick it up. And if you ever go on the Hannah Anderson website, which you'll probably need to do because they use like centimeter sizing, like 130 centimeters, which I think is like a size 5, but I'm probably off on that. You'll see that it actually does retail for a decent amount of money. So of course people are looking to buy these prints secondhand. So those are 10 brands that I have a really great sell-through rate with. If you guys have differing brands or experience with these brands, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. What brands do you love to pick up, because you know that it's going to be a fast flip. If you guys are interested in any of my Poshmark, eBay, or Mercari stores, everything is going to be linked down below. And if you did enjoy this video and you found it helpful, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe. I will see you guys next video.